What's going on, family? Welcome back to Isrock's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing The Accountant, back from 2016. And this movie was a very intellectual, psychological thriller in a way, very ferocious in the way the story was definitely told in this film. And I have nothing but praise for this film, and I'm going to get into the reasons why. But first, let's get into Gavin O'Connor, the director of one of my favorite movies of all time, Warrior. Definitely directed this film, and he definitely served it justice. Ben Affleck, the once ridiculed but now stupendous entertainer, acted alongside J.K. Simmons, a distinguished actor from Whiplash. They both had pretty much good chemistry, and they are a few of the reasons this movie excelled. We also had John Bernthal. At this time, he was a rising star, and obviously he's a star here to stay. But at that time, he was starring in The Walking Dead, and he was an unknown, but known at the same time. It was very weird, and he's great, by the way, in this film. Then we have John Lithgow, who's tremendous. He's an actor who delivers uncanny results, especially when he plays villains, and there's no exception to this film where he's awesome. We have Bill Dubuque, and at first I was like, who the hell is this guy? But he wrote this movie, and he did an exceptional job. And this appears to be his first major project, besides his involvement with Robert Downey's The Judge, which also was an exceptional film. And I enjoyed all these people's works, one way or another. But this movie, not only had a great director, but a great leading man and an all-star cast. I think that's what made this movie what it was. Definitely excelled in that aspect. And from the trailers, the movie seemed like a very intellectual thriller movie about a young boy growing up with mental problems who happens to be autistic. And I was all in, The boy grows up and becomes an accountant. To me, I thought that was very remarkable. I thought that was unique. And I was all in at that point. Through his work, he does business with shady characters, which I thought was, I thought it was very different, you know what I mean? He gets into things with terrorists, drugs, cartels, the mob, and I was like, okay, how can an autistic person get involved with all these things and still be alive, But that's what the movie was for. So I had to make it my business, and I had to see this through. And for some reason, throughout this film, his clients want him dead. But we know that the accountant is far more capable and much more capable of what they know. I was anticipating this movie based on all the information that I just provided you. So imagine, I thought this movie was a can't miss. I actually thought it couldn't miss. But the question was, is The Accountant a good movie? And to me, The Accountant was a great movie. It was knocked out the park in my point of view. Had some mixed aspects to it, but overall, great film. The direction of this movie seems rather simple, but as the story progresses, things become a bit too complicated at times, and maybe not for the better. There's certain things I wanted to see in the film, and certain things that I could have lived without. I understood that the main story and what was happening throughout this film obviously is thrown to you, but there's a subplot of the movie that threw me off. I thought the secondary plot was a bit messy, but even with it being a little messy, it was still very engaging. The acting in this movie was excellent. I think Ben Affleck as Christian Wolff is the best character he's ever played up to date. And mind you, I love him as Batman. I think he was one of the best Batmans we had in a long time, and I put him over Robert Pattinson. I put him over Michael Keaton, who was my Batman growing up. So, just to give you my view on his take when it comes to films. And I thought his performance is both engaging and very mesmerizing. He plays an autistic man, and, he gives his cadence to this film in such a respectful way that it's it's a delight to see, especially on screen. Everyone in this film does their job here, but it's him that really steals the show. The violence feels very ultra realistic, which I love because, you know, this is not only a thriller, it's not only a movie that provokes your thoughts, but it's an action film as well. And I love action films, but none have felt as real as this in a long time, you know, except for like the John Wick films. But, you know, the John Wick films are getting a little, you know, a little too crazy. But when, you know, he starts to kill people, it's not pretty. And I love that. I love my Carnage Candy, and this movie gives you plenty of it, believe it or not. The execution of the story at times feels tedious, you know, due to its consistent jump in editing and cutting, multi-layered plot, and the abundance of characters this movie has. You know, each character gets their moment, which is exceptional because they managed to pull that off. You know, every main character in this film definitely gets their time to shine, and everyone plays a part, but it's the coincidence that brings them all together. And when I mean coincidence, when you get to see the movie, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I got it. And I think this movie is trying to be more than what it is, but while it does that, it succeeds. The Accountant has a very multi-layered, engaging main plot about mental illness and young children and how to cope with their situations. The secondary plot is about the accountant doing business with the wrong people. There's another plot to this movie where J.K. Simmons' character and his stories are very compelling, but for me, it lacked conviction. Overall, I enjoyed this movie. The fight scenes and choreography are breathtaking. The visuals are exceptional. The main plot, like I mentioned before, very engaging. Ben Affleck, to me, delivered the best performance of his career in this film. I think every actor played their part for the most part, but he truly, truly excelled. This movie suffers from sensory overload at times, but regardless of the fact, I believe that, you know, it will stimulate not only intellectuals, but, you know, definitely those white knuckle junkies, those action junkies as well. You know, the main plot is very unique. You know, Ben Affleck, and the way he gets very physical in this role, and the violence is very ferocious, and he definitely pulls it off. You know, I think that, you know, overall, The Accountant is a very skillfully done semi-decent thriller that could have done infinitely better if it defined what it was trying to focus on very early on, and if it kept its focus on that. Is it a, you know, cerebral mystery? Yes, it has a lot of ballsy action scenes. It's an action flick. Could also be marketed as a family drama in many ways, especially between the dynamic between him and his father growing up. You know, they show you that his father, although being labeled and having that, you know, spectrum over him, he didn't let it bother him. The father disciplined him like a soldier, and I think that helped him find his, I'm not gonna say passion, because nobody wants to kill people for a living, but made him find something that he was really good at, meaning the accounting side of him. And it's a very cautionary tale, you know. Morality is in play. You know, he has an excuse to commend himself. Ben Affleck's range in this film is second to none. But sadly, it settles for being a knower of it all instead of a master of none, right? But I feel like this is a movie you're definitely going to enjoy. You know, I wasn't sure what I was going to get in this film, but the acting was so exceptional that, you know, I left it on, and it actually does get you, you know. Ben Affleck in this is not only brilliant, but, you know, he brings up the question in the film, like, who knew? You know, this movie was, to me, very close to being a masterpiece. You know, didn't know that, you know, he had this in him at that time. And, you know, watching this really puts you to think about what he could have done early on in his career, but I never thought he was a bad actor. And an honorable mention goes out to Anna Kendrick, who is really good in her role. The chemistry between her character and Christian, Ben Affleck's character, was very palpable. They're honestly the best actors in the film, but although we all know that Ben knocks it out the park, Anna Kendrick is so intense and over the top with her performance as well. It's exactly what it needed to be, and I was mesmerized. I feel like it was Oscar-worthy, in my opinion, because it feels like with this whole cast, this ensemble cast, it was like an acting masterclass in many ways. It's a wonderful movie. I want to see a lot more movies like this. It was a pleasant surprise from start to finish. The plot unfolded right in front of you. Might not have been, perfect, but well-written script. And I think the flashbacks were a nice use, especially when it comes to the character development. There was many twists and turns and a bit of a surprise ending. And you got to watch out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Very interesting movie. And I give this movie 8 out of 10. And I think you should investigate and look for it while you can. And let me know what you think about this movie in the Discord. Is this Ben Affleck's best movie? Do you still like him as Batman? Is he your Batman? Is he past that giggly stage, right? Where he got so ridiculed for? But this movie was exceptional. You need to experience something like this, and look forward to you seeing this frantic action, suspense, and mystery with a lot of intrigue. And look out for the plot twists. If you liked my review, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. If you want more content from me, all you gotta do is come back, subscribe, so you don't miss anything. To the next one. Peace.